tune into that, but I'm just going to start by saying thank you guys for being here. It's such an honor and blessing to share my baby with you, the AYRx yoga swings. These swings are really special. They're really amazing. Just in case there's anybody who's new to the practice, I'll go over the equipment to begin. So I'm Jen Healy. This is the combination, all-in-one, first time ever that I'm offering the aerial yoga play, AYP, with the AYRx Therapeutix, AYRx, with the Suspended Somatics therapy and sacred geometrics all blended into one. So I am truly making this all levels, all bodies, all ages, and there's going to be something for everybody with a lot more information and understanding of what we're doing and why we're doing and how it impacts the body. So I just encourage you to enjoy yourself and to feel. The most important part is just to let yourself have an experience and get it in your body. And then once you get it in your body, then you're much more susceptible to entrain with the movement and share it from that place. For those that want to be certified teachers, thank you guys for being here in Eugene. So happy to have you. And this is going to be archived. There's unlimited replays, so anything that we go over, you can always go back and review it. So instead of really being concerned with memorizing or taking in all the information, just let it be part of the experience and like little bite-sized pieces like a buffet. You want to just let yourself digest it as we go along. Are you guys good over there?
Yep.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so now I want you guys to mute the Zoom, okay? Go ahead and mute the Zoom, and then you guys will be able to still hear me. That would be awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, so today we're going to focus on what I call the body of light. Yesterday we're building on the practices. Yesterday we worked a lot with alignment and our pillar, and we're going to continue focusing on the stacking and finding not only the physical alignment with the swing, but the energetic alignment. And this is really key for understanding how to heal the body and use the swing as a vehicle for transformation is what I like to call it. But what we're doing is allowing the swing to communicate with our body and have that be a feedback loop for us to really understand and feel ourselves in space. We have a reference. So a lot of times we're not able to see or understand what is happening with the major joints, the hubs of the hips and lower back, as well as the neck and shoulders, because we don't have a reference. So the swing being a perfect tool for engaging with alignment and symmetry is allowing gravity to do the work for us. So really this is supposed to be easy and fun and playful. Yes, it's going to be powerful and intense as well, so take frequent breaks. Whenever your body needs a break, please listen to that. You can always come back in. If you just give yourself 30 seconds instead of struggling with the swing or the fabric, if it feels too much, especially we're going to be hanging by our underarms for quite a while. And the same with when we're hanging by our hips. It's interfacing with our lymph and our circulation, not just the muscles. And it might feel like, too much, like putting pressure on a balloon that has too much air in it. So we want to honor that and back off and just let it fluff back up and then come back in. It's kind of like we're doing a ton of detoxing and lymph drainage by using the swing both underneath the arms and around the waist and hips. So it hits those spots where we tend to have congestion as well as tension. And the swing is amazing for creating space. So stress and all of the compression that happens with gravity is the issue, is the problem, and then space and expansion and openness is the solution. So for today, when we're working with the body of light, even if that doesn't make any sense to you right now, just little spoiler alert, this entire program is a heart opening practice. So the whole point of my design, because there's many different modalities out there, my design is specifically for working with the upper thoracic and understanding the relationship between the upper and lower quadrants or hubs of the body. And when the body is in alignment, then the energy flows and then we return to optimal health, or at least like the absolute best version of ourselves that we can be. Because as you practice, you'll notice that there's more and more levels and layers for us to go to. So this is my leading edge right now. This is my challenge, is how can I bring everything I do into one practice and use the swing as the medium. So we can do these practices using any medium. This one is just supposed to be fun. Remember that the play is the most important part, so remember to play. Remember to really enjoy the practice of exploring and experiencing the body in a new way. Okay, so I've been doing this for about 20 years. I've had a healing practice for 30 years, and I combine science with technology and then the spiritual practices with the healing arts. And so it's a blending of all these things that I have been doing for many decades. And it's just fun for me. It's fun to challenge myself to see if I can bring all of this wisdom and teachings into one practice. So this is in the genre of aerial yoga, and it started out as aerial yoga play being the most important part, in about 2009. And then it's had many iterations. And so we're actually combining 4 different modules into one. And I have about 10 levels of certification. So we're really only doing like 1 or 2 levels, but it's a hybrid. We're also blending in a new way. So since this is new to me in teaching a very unique style, it'll be new to you. And I always just recommend take in what feels good and what you can. Don't worry about it if something doesn't make sense. We'll have plenty of time for discussion, to review, to go over things. We're doing the training for 4 hours, and then we're welcoming people to join us at 4 o'clock to do a workshop. So what we'll do is do 2 hours of practice, and then the workshop is actually a repeat and a review, but always with like a little extra sprinkled in. Okay? You guys getting settled over there? There's a lot of movement. No worries, we'll get it figured out. So we're gonna just start coming back into the center of the mat. And I work with these beautiful circular mandala mats that are all based in sacred geometry and really beautiful, and that helps me keep the alignment, and it also gets me out of my linear movements so I can move in multidimensional space. So a lot of the movements is crossing planes or changing planes, and this is incredible for the brain and for the lymph and for the nervous system and all the functionality of the body when we change planes and we're just simply using the free energy of harmonic movement, harmonic motion. It's so incredible and it's so healing. So a lot of it is just going to be a lot of what I call swag or swagger, where we're just doing a lot of swaying and pulsating both back and forth and then up and down. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into the swing. We're going to start with our sumo pose. That's like our #1 pose that we go to. And we're going to stand in the center of the mat, bring our arms up to the sky, just stretch and feel this pillar like there's a column of light moving through the crown, through the entire spine, and that is grounding us down, all the way down, anchored into the earth. And then from there, after we take a nice big inhale, we're going to exhale and hug the swing. So my arms are behind the swing, and now it'll feel really tight. It'll feel like it's too high. But the swings stretch. They're made of this incredible cotton lycra blend. So we're going to push it down, get it down to the lower ribs, because it's always going to pop back up and ride up. So we want to keep it low to begin. And then we're going to lean back. When you lean back, you can have your feet in the center of the mat and just hold on for a second and just check out the balance. I always start the same way. And I've been sharing a lot about my 5-minute practices and doing more like a HIIT training in the swing. So I'll sprinkle some of that information in again, but I do this every day. Every day I get up and I just get in the swing and I let it support me behind my sternum. So it's below the tips of the shoulder blades. If it rides up too high, you just give it a little hop, a little bounce, and get it a little lower. And then we're going to interlace our fingers really strong and place them behind the back of the head. So even here, it's a nice firm platter for your head to rest back into, where the neck inserts into the skull. So even here, as I have already shared, we're going to focus on opening the heart today. focus on the center, and then we're going to work the whole body, both the upper and lower hubs. But just start to feel as you can lean back into the swing and start to sway from side to side. Feel the heart opening and blossoming towards the sky. You can peek at the screen, but also allow your gaze to rise towards the ceiling. So you can really lean back, and you're opening up your shoulders, you're opening up your elbows, very relaxed, your feet are grounded, and then your upper body is like a weeping willow. It's just swaying from side to side. And you'll notice we get this incredible massage. So the swing is going to hit certain points. It's going to traction up and down the spine. It's going to wring out the lymph. We're going to work a lot with the fascia. I really love bringing in the fluid dynamics and the spiral energetics into the practice, which is way more than I normally teach in a basic training or beginner class. But it's good for people to know that when we just gently rock from side to side, all of this goodness is happening. So I like to share, what is this pose doing and why does it work? Why does it feel so good? And if anything is uncomfortable, like your neck or your lower back, just make some adjustments. Just see if you can find a place where it feels good. Alrighty then. So from here, I'm walking my feet about hip distance. I can bend my knees a little from side to side and roll open and create an arch at the edges. So still keeping it mellow, keeping it slow, being in a slow flow to just warm up the body. I don't know what it took you to get here, but I am so grateful you're sharing your Saturday with me. It's always a lot, so we're landing, we're grounding, we're becoming present and connecting to our breath. Our breath connects us to our body. So see if you can marry the movement of breath and body together, whatever that means to you, and then walk it a little bit wider, like you're 9 and 3 on the mat, and then we can get into a bigger side lunge and open up the rib cage, open up the side body, and just stay in the supported back bend, pressing back as we go around from side to side. So we do a lot of work with the semicircles. So we're opening up the spheres, the spirals, and you can even play. We're going to have a lot of free time, free flow, to really explore. So you can actually roll onto your toes and open it up a little bit more so that you're twisting at the edges, and this opens up the spirals in the body. Let your hands be lifting. So we're on a diagonal leaning back, and your hands are lifting and pulling up gently on the neck to create a little bit more length and space. And just this feels so good. We're not going to focus on doing a lot of variations of poses. We're going to do a lot of variations in the pose. So not a lot of memorization of where do I go from here. It's just simple, supported back bend. And then from the supported back bend, see what it's like to free your hands and stretch your arms overhead and feel long lines of energy from your toes to your fingertips. And when you spin, you bring your head, your gaze with you, and you can turn and look over your shoulder, underneath your arm, and just see what that feels like in the spine. Lean into it and let the swing support you. Okay, these are designed to be soft and strong and malleable, so it moves with the body. Nice and slow to begin. Warm it up like you're swimming through water. And then we can come back to chillaxing arms so we can go a little faster. Most of the time I like to sync up, but right now we're just playing. So you can go a little bit more dynamic and sway even faster, speeding it up from side to side, or if you like your slow flow, just stay really chill. But I want you to just feel in the body and then bring it down. We're going to start bending the knees and walk the feet to the front of the mat as we come into a sumo squat. And then from our chillaxing arms, we're going to push the forearms into the swing. If the swing needs a little hop, make sure that it is below the shoulder blades. If it's on the shoulder blades, it'll pinch the underarms and it'll be uncomfortable within a few minutes. So let's just keep our rocking and rolling around and explore the hips here. I want you to see if you can get that dynamic length and tension where the upper body is lifting with the help of the swing and the lower body is dropping. We're really letting our pelvis relax. So tuck your pubic bone down and under so that you have a straight line in the spine. No matter what pose we're doing, we're going to remember that we have our pillar, and then we're going to remember that we have this bubble of energy around us. That's why I like to explore with the arms. This is your bubble. This is your space. And when we start working with the body as a bubble of energy, since all the joints, everything is actually round, it's a ball and socket, and the linear movements don't release the joints as much as these twists and spins and spirals do. So just let it feel good, let it be easy. Play with dropping one knee and then the other knee. Remember the breath. Let yourself really land and be here, get present. And since we are practicing for several hours together, and that can be a little unusual in the body, I do want to encourage you to take care of yourself. So if you need a sip of water, if you need to come down and take a little break, if you need a bio break, whatever you need, this is the beauty of being able to review and replay the online training, is it's okay to hop back in and know that like 4 hours is a lot for anybody. Normally I do 6 hours a day, so I actually think this is a blessing that we're doing more days and spreading it out so that at the end of the 5 days total, we're doing 20 hours of training, which I usually kind of like condense down into 3. It's much easier on the body. It's much more fun. So I'm glad that we have made the most of our virtual opportunities to connect. Okay, so just let's butterfly our wings, our legs back and forth a little bit. Walking the feet together, coming into Baddha Konasana. I want you to just feel, try to keep that lift in the spine by pressing your arms in strongly. And then I just want you to feel your hips again in a different position, rocking from side to side. What I'm going to do today is have you really pay attention and feel. Feel if the left hip is the same as the right hip. Most of us will say no, because we all have asymmetries. Can give it a hop, come on in whenever you need it. The swing's always going to ride up, so adjust as many times as you need to find the sweet spot. There is a spot that is more comfortable than anything else. So I have noticed, it's my left, your right, but I have noticed that my left side is a little tighter. So what I'll do is I'll just pulse and hang out there and give it a chance to release. And that's what I wanted to bring into this virtual training that's a little different, is to give you time to actually feel and get to know your body in a new way with this interface, with this medium. And then just do both sides, but just notice like, oh, look, this side feels a lot looser or more spacious. And so the side that you find that feels a little tighter, maybe a little sticky in the waist and ribs, just stay there for a little bit longer. Give it a little extra, because we want to find that alignment and find that symmetry. And when you're ready, go ahead and push your feet into the ground, lean back, give it a little hop, and feet together this time, just reset and come back into the swagger. So supported back bend with my arms wide, my elbows bent, and my hands supporting my head strongly. So interlace your fingers so you have a little platform there, and look up towards the sky, and just take a moment to feel your heart. Feel the back of the heart. Feel that upper thoracic spine pushing forward with the swing, supporting it. And we're going to keep this alignment that we do a lot of back bends, but we also undulate with the breath. Okay, so let's just do a few. I love angel wings, so let's just do a few rounds of angel wings where we inhale, open wide. Exhale, start to bend the knees. Inhaling, swimming the arms overhead. Exhale, bend the knees. We're just rocking back and forth. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, And then exhale. Next time that you can push forward, come forward, you can walk your feet back to the center of the mat and get comfortable so you can tee your arms and feel this strong pressure, but also lift through the chest. If we're going to do heart opening poses, we have to open the chest. This gets really tight from sitting, from computers, from driving. This movement is the exact opposite of the position we're in all day long. So just flap your wings a little, your angel wings, and just let that open. Really press. Make sure you're engaging through your core so your lower back is happy. And then bend the knees, swim on back. Inhaling and exhaling all the way forward. Press, press. I'm up on my toes and I'm on a strong diagonal, so I have to engage through my torso. Go ahead and inhale and exhale. Inhaling and exhaling. Yeah. Find the movement and the breath coming together no matter what we're doing. One more time. Supported back bend. Sway it out. Go a little bit deeper into your rainbow or like an arch from side to side from your waist. See if you can kind of pause at the edges. I call it a freeze frame when we pause for just a microsecond and come back in. So stretch, 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 stretch that space between the hips and the intercostals, the bottom of the ribs. Get some space in there. So same pose, but look how many variations we can do. We're changing our intention and our focus, which changes everything. Okay, let's go ahead and come back to our seated position here. I'm going to go over the sumo, and this is all in the online training course that you guys will get as part of this. So you can also review, those that want to do the certification, and it has a review of all the names and the poses. I'll just repeat the names so that it becomes second nature to get into a sumo. So this is like a chair position, right? Dropping our hips, and then we walk it wide. Heel toe to 10 and 2. So I'm always going to allow the knees to track over the toes. Like if you collapse in, just try to remember to push the hips open as much as possible. And let's just start rolling the hips around and do a little belly dancing move. So we're going to get into the spins and spirals because the hips get sticky. So they're a floating mechanism, right? The hips are floating, but they can definitely get stuck or sticky or have some tension, particularly in the hip flexors. So from sitting, the hips are pushed forward. Just see if you can drop your tailbone even more. Let everything soften and deepen in your hip creases. Now from here, we're gonna incorporate our leg loops. We're gonna hug the swing. You always wrap outside in. So if you go like this, you're gonna lose your hook. So I'll go no, 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 and then you reach around, even when I say grab for the leg loop, which we're gonna do this next. So right hand, you can just grab with one hand, or if you can, grab with both hands and pull down. So I just want you to feel this movement, and it's kind of a micro movement. I'm exaggerating it a little bit so you can see. But notice when I pull my hands down, not only am I strengthening my pecs and my chest, but I'm getting this lift. And then you start to feel your upper abdominals start to work. So see if you can just do a few rounds of that. Of course, it's going to feel a little pinchy under the arms, so be gentle with it. And then let's add a knee lift. So we're going to bend the right knee, inhale here, and then exhale, pull down and squeeze. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lengthen, and squeeze. Inhale, and exhale. Just get the breath involved. And then what we have to do to get the leg loop on is we have to practice coming into like a pigeon pose. So go ahead and just start out warming up the hips for a second. Just hold on to the leg loop with your right hand and just let the knee flare out to the side and down towards the ground, kind of tilting the pelvis. So if it's hard to get the leg loop on, which it is for a lot of people, especially my elder friends and clients that I work with, you really want to give it a helping hand. So you can hold on to the leg loop with your left, use your right hand to give it a little hop, and then get that on behind the knee. So when we work with the swing, with the leg loops behind the knee, It is called chillaxin pose. We're just going to do one leg at a time. Get the swing into a good position, lean back, give it a little hop, come back in, and then reach around for the left leg loop, first with one hand, and then if it feels good, both hands. And you'll notice that it's different. Now that we're floating, it's going to feel really different. So we pull down, and then we're going to take a big inhale, exhale, lift the knee, activate your core, inhale, exhale, squeeze, inhale, lengthen, exhale, squeeze. For those that have done the basic training, this is all review, but don't worry, we're going to add some new stuff in. Go ahead and get that pigeon pose out to the side. Hold on to the left ankle with the left hand so that you can help the foot in there. Transition to the back of the knee. Most people will find the pressure on the joints uncomfortable. It's incredibly healing for our joints. But if you're not used to the pressure, because it's hitting all the lymph spots, you can actually spread it out. Everything spreads out. So don't be afraid to experiment and play to get into a more comfortable position. As you can see, they're going to bunch up again, but you can spread it out for a moment and give yourself a little break. And then the same thing with your back here. You can try spreading out the swing, but it's just going to bunch up again. Just make sure it's not twisted and it'll feel a little bit better. So from chillaxin, again, focusing on the heart today and feeling the body, the space around our body. We're going to play with swaying from side to side. So I push one knee down and then the other knee down, and my mantra here is my hips are heavy, heart is open, head is relaxed back into my hands, and I'm gently rocking. So I want you to imagine that we're moving within this golden bubble, this body of light that is around us, and we're tracing the edges of it. And not too many movements, too many exercise practices allow us to get this much swagger and sway. And I have to tell you, I will, like I said, drizzle in a bunch of information about how the body works. The body being the most advanced technology on the planet by far, but we have to understand its functionality, how it works, and what it does. So from here, when we cross planes, when we change planes like this, and we let our eyes move from left to right and follow the movement, we're actually rebalancing our brains and nervous system. This will activate the vagus nerve, which is connected to the parasympathetic, and it starts to calm and soothe the body. It also balances the left and right sides. So any sort of asymmetry, which happens from having a dominant hand or playing a dominant sport on one side, we all have these imbalances. And part of retraining both the musculature, the soft tissue, and the nervous system is just gently rocking. So a lot is happening here. Plus we're just playing and having fun. The whole reason I call this aerial yoga play and the AYRx yoga swings is to remind you of the playground and being a kid and just that sweetness of just playing and exploring and being willing to try new things and just have fun with it. We get pretty serious as adults, and it's important for us to bring it back and remember how to play. So the swaying is often, like, I call these the wee poses, like wee, and we get to really like play. So see what it's like to really explore your bubble, explore the whole edge of your body of light, and just feel like you're tracing just like this golden bubble, this ball of energy around you. So that's what we're playing with. We're playing with the energy that's in the space as well as inside the body. So the energy's all around us, and we can start to feel it. We can start to feel, this is my space, this is my bubble. And it's also nice when you're practicing with other people that each person has their own bubble. You know, so this is your area, this is your energy, this is your field. And then we're going to do some gentle undulations today, focusing on the heart as the center point. So come back to chillaxin from swagger. Let's go ahead and inhale, just open the arms into a T, and then exhale. Whenever you need a break, go ahead and dive in, round in for a floating child's pose. Now, if this is uncomfortable for the knees or the back, you can hold on to your leg loops, pull yourself up, let the leg loops slide up towards the groin, and just come to stand, and you'll feel your back fluff up, and you'll be able to get a little bit of sweet relief. But we want to wring out the body and then let it fluff back up. So we're going to be here in our upright positions for a little bit longer, but then we'll switch it up. We'll come into some forward folds. We'll just use the leg loops. We'll just use the hand holds. On Thursday, I really focused on hips and legs. Friday, I did a lot with the neck and shoulders. And today we're gonna do kind of like a blend of everything. So we're gonna work the whole body today. Today is gonna be about more of the dynamic movements. And then tomorrow, since it's Sunday, if all goes well, we'll do a little bit more restorative and bring it down, work low in the swing with some suspended somatics therapy. So yeah, whenever you need a break, just come on up. This is called high skydiver with the legs. And then you can hop back in, and you can also try, like I said, staying up a little bit higher and spreading it out. Lots of options. I'm giving you the variety pack of everything we can do. Okay, so even here, if we want to come into chillaxing, we can go into a floating child's just by pulling in and then opening up. So there's lots of different ways to do the same sequence. This is going to be our chill flow. I'm going to come back to knees to show you the normal, or the most popular version. So what we want to do is undulate the spine, just taking something like a vinyasa flow and translating it to the swing. So it's not going to be exact, but it is a variation. So from a child's pose, you can always stay here if you want. But we're just going to go back and forth. We're going to round the spine like we're coming into a cat-cow. And then we're going to inhale and blossom for star. So now we arch, keep the hips heavy, heart open, and your head relaxed back. Exhale, child's. Inhale, star. Most people will push their hips up here, so see if you can push your hips down while you let your heart rise up. Get that length and space through the front of the spine. Exhale, child's. Inhale, star. Expand. Beautiful. We could even shake it out here. Superstar. Shake, 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 shake. And then come back in and rest in child's. So just this breathing, the arching and rounding is starting to hydrate the discs and open up the vertebrae. And you can see when we don't have any pressure on our lower body and it can hang, we're tractioning the spine out of the pelvis and creating space for the vertebrae. That's what the swing is so good for, is decompressing the spine, creating as much length and space. And then what we want to do is add as many twists and turns to wring out the spine, so any sort of asymmetry in the development can start to even out. So let's go ahead and just take a moment to swag. Feel the left and right sides. Feel if they're shifting or changing. Feel if one is tighter than the other. Just notice. Just notice what's happening in your body. Yeah, I always notice it's my left, although it looks like you're right. My left is always like a little bit tighter, a little bit more, not only stronger because I'm left dominant, but it feels a little sticky and stuck, like it doesn't spin. I can spin to my right a little bit more. So like I said, let's balance that out. Let's even it out as much as possible to come back to alignment, to come back to center. We have to get those little asymmetries out of the body between the left and right and the up and down. The whole sphere, the whole ball of energy, the whole body of light. So let's add on to our chill flow, coming back to center. Inhale, tee the arms. Exhale, child's. Inhale, star. And then exhale, namaste. So hands to prayer at the heart. So nice, strong pressure of the thumbs against the sternum. Squeeze the legs together, and as you lean back, you'll feel the forearms hooking onto the swing. So lean back with your gaze, with your head, and push your hips up strongly. Nice long lines of energy, and then just come to sit. So let me talk to you about what's happening here, because you might feel like a little lightheaded or a little woozy whenever we do these inverted back bends. It is going to turn on the energy managers of the body, the energy centers along the spine. So it just so happens that the chakras, which are these centers of energy that control all the movement in the body and all the different spheres and hubs. It overlays the endocrine system, and those glands release the different hormones into our bloodstream. It balances our brain, it manages our sleep, our mood, our attitude, everything, our digestion. So the more that we open up the front of the spine, and the more that we start to breathe and turn on these different energy centers, then you can feel this heat rising, right? So a lot of times you'll get this wave or rush of heat, and you'll also be clearing, we're spinning and clearing these different channels that are responsible for the health of the body. So back bends, especially in the swing, back bend inversions are really powerful. And so I want you to feel that as you go into the ladle position and then bow pose. Feel the strength of this and don't push it, which means only go as far as your body is comfortable today. And as it opens, it'll get more and more range. It'll get more and more mobility. But listen to the body and only go as far as it feels good. Which means when we reach back and grab for our ankles, if that is just too far and we're going to kink or compress our lower back to grab for our ankles, don't grab the ankles. Just reach in that direction and keep the openness. I want you to keep the heart blossoming and just have this be a heart-centered, heart-centric practice today. Okay, so let's go ahead and add on. That was my little tidbit. Inhale, T, exhale, child's. Whenever you want to take a break, just stay here. To continue on, inhale, star, blossom. Let the heart shine. Exhale, namaste. Hands to prayer, legs together, press up. So we're leaning back strongly by pushing the hips up. Hold on to the swing. Take a nice big inhale and then exhale, lean back even more. Let the swing traction down towards your hips. And then drop your hips, inhale, lift your head. And let's do a few rounds of that. Push your hips up and lean back. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. So massage out the stickiness that goes down the paraspinals. So we're working with the pivot point and the leverage of pushing the hips up, dropping the head, keeping our strong pillar connected no matter what pose we're in. Go ahead and inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, bicep curl, come up. Exhale, drop the hips. So the more that we do these undulations and we do this rhythm wave of back and forth, everything starts to loosen up. And maybe that is enough for today. But if you want to stack and keep going with this practice, now we're going to go into ladle. And I will demonstrate and then we can do it together. So just for this one, watch, and then we'll do it together. So from namaste, I hold on to the swing. I let it slide all the way down. I can even give it a little hop. I'm going to bring my arms wide and overhead, palms up. And then this is big stretch through the front of the spine. Take a breath there, bend your knees. If you want to go further into bow, reach back for your ankles and just keep the lift through your heart. And if it's available, grab the ankles and pull your feet away so your heart blossoms even more. Beautiful. Release your ankles, inhale, reach up, grab for the swing. Drop the hips, come to sit. Now we have to acclimate. So every time we do this big back bend inversion, you're going to get a massive rush of energy because we're like turning a purse upside down and shaking it out, and all of that grit, all of the stuff, the little bits and bobs that were at the bottom just come shaking out. And so we're doing that with our bodies. We're doing that with our muscles, but also with the circulation. So you're going to get this massive rush whenever you do this. So let's go for a few rounds. We'll do 2 rounds together, the whole thing. And again, just go as far as it feels comfortable. We want to keep you in the swing for multiple hours today, so don't push it. Just have it be just right for you. You have full permission to listen to your body. Inhale, open. Exhale, child's, round in. Inhale, star, arch and blossom. Exhale, namaste. Squeeze, press the hips up, lean back into it. Inhale, reach up, grab for the swing, and exhale, slide it down. Let it traction towards the top of the hips. Reach the arms overhead, ladle, and then swim back, bend your knees, and grab for your ankles, or just reach towards your toes. Keep the big openness in the back. Focus on blossoming your heart even more. One more big breath. Exhale, release the ankles. Inhale, reach up, grab for the swing. Bicep curl, drop the hips. Come to sit. This is a major washing for the body. It's like we just cleanse all of the stickiness out of the body. Every single person is a living library. So we are mostly water, and water stores memory. So every experience we've ever had, every issue is in our tissue, and it gets locked in, and this surface charge can build up with like sediment or layers. And each time we do one of these undulations and vinyasa flows, we're cleansing and clearing the central pathway, and then this pillar of light can become a superhighway for the energy to flow. I'm a huge believer, after being involved for so many decades in the healing arts, that our bodies know how to heal. It is highly intelligent and knows what to do. We just have to kind of get out of the way and remove the blocks, remove the obstacles where it's being pinched, where there's a little kink, where it's getting cut off, or there's a deficiency. Because if one side is tighter than the other, that means the other side isn't getting equal amounts of energy, and we're balancing it. As you can see, the swing is stretching us evenly, so we get a new relationship with symmetry and with this alignment. We're going to really focus on the alignment principles all weekend. It's like huge part of my work. Most of the next level teaching I do is just about the alignment of the body and the physics of the body, and understanding how the body works, how energy works. It's really incredible. It's really fascinating to just add something new into a practice like yoga or like exercise, but then it's everything in one. It has all the components for us to maintain our health. So one more time, inhale T, exhale child's, inhale star, blossom. Feel what I'm talking about. Feel the body opening and rinsing and cleansing any sticky and stuck places. Namaste. Push the hips up and lean back. Breathe. Inhale, grab the swing, and exhale, slide in. So all I do is push my hips up and arch and lean back. So my crown, the crown of my head is pointing down towards the floor. I like to give it a little hop or a shimmy to get it a little lower below the love handles. We all have love handles. And then if it feels good, arms overhead, or stay holding on to the swing. You can even arch and blossom here with your hands holding on to the swing. You just externally rotate your shoulders and pull the bottom tips of the shoulder blades together. And then reach back. See if you can reach for your ankles. Each time, go a little bit deeper, but in a very gentle way. This is a big pose. Alrighty, one more big breath. Exhale, release. Inhale, grab for the swing, bicep curl, and exhale, drop your hips simultaneously. So we're working with this seesaw, right? Hips up, head goes back, hips down, head comes up. So it really becomes effortless, and we're leading with our hips. Most people are trying to do all the movements with their upper body or their head, and it becomes much harder, much more effortful. But it's, if we use the power point, the power center of our pelvis is the most powerful part of the body and the strongest. When we push our hips up, we automatically can feel we go back. And then we drop our hips, you can automatically feel if we keep our pillar in that long straight line, then it pulls the upper body up. So try that. Try leading with your hips today. Even though this is a heart-centered practice, notice that we're mostly moving from our head. and our head is always too far forward. So the head gets to sink back and come along. We want to keep the crown of the head, this portal at the top of the head, communicating with the tailbone, always. So the tailbone lifts, the head goes back. Tailbone drops, the head comes up. Those two are always going to be synced up with the heart as the apex or the teeter-totter of the seesaw. So if the heart is collapsed, then you can see your seesaw is not going to go well if it's bowed. So that's why we work with the upper thoracic spine and bring our arch and our back bend up. So the lower back is already arched, the neck is already arched, and we're overextending these two areas. Whereas if we press into the back of the heart to lift, it's a completely different experience. So most people that are rounded there, it might be tight and it might take a little while to loosen up. We still keep our ribs engaged, and we really let the space between the ribs and the collarbones lengthen. So this is the dynamic tension. One part pulling down and one part pulling up. And that's how we get length, right? If it's like a string and you only pull one side, then it's not going to tighten. Like, we want to see our bodies. Let's go ahead and come up to stand and give our legs a break. So we want to see our bodies as like an instrument, like a guitar, and we're tuning those strings by tightening them to get just the right tonality. So when you're tightening something, it has two ends. So think of that. Your tailbone is always anchoring down and plugging in, and your head is always pulling up. And this dynamic tension is what keeps the spaciousness, and the discs in between the vertebrae can stay fluffed up, like pumping up a tire. See, each disc is like a little tire. And sometimes when there's pressure, like a balloon, that tire will get pinched, you know, or it'll have like a little bulge. And so that whole concept of like a bulging disc in the back is pressure. And so space and fluffing it up is what's going to create relief. And just to give you a little background, and then we're going to have a few moments to answer some questions. As you can see, we just did a couple poses. We did a supported back bend into Weeping Willow. We did a sumo into chillaxin. We came through angel wings a few times. We're not doing a ton of poses. It's what we're doing in the poses that are going to be refined. You know, the details really make a difference. But you can come up and hang out here to make it a little bit easier on the body, so we're not just hanging by our underarms for so long. So the whole reason I started this practice 20 years ago is because I had severe lower back pain for about 10 years. Way too young to have that much back pain. And I also had knee surgery on both knees from being a crazy person, but very athletic and not honoring my limitations, being an overachiever. And so by the time I was 20, I had severe back pain and then 2 ACL reconstructions, and I was like, what is going on? All of Western medicine has this approach of either chemical manipulation, right, the pharmaceuticals, or invasive surgery. Well, I was in grad school in physics and engineering, so I got very passionate about exploring medical physics. And I found this is the most barbaric system I've ever seen. I was almost finished my PhD, and I wanted to explore other options. And so I went on this journey of studying everything. I kind of took on my healing as a PhD program and studied every version of Eastern and Western philosophies, because I just thought that the way Western medicine was approaching it was so barbaric and arcane, like with the, you know, knee replacements and all of the stuff. I was like, they're approaching it like the body's a car, you know, like a mechanical. And there's so much more going on. So going on that exploration, long story short, I dedicated my whole life to the healing arts and helping people find ways, alternative ways besides what we're told is available or possible. And so hanging upside down saved my life. Literally, I was like, I couldn't I couldn't even lay down without being in excruciating pain. Like it's one thing if you're in pain when you're in motion, but if you can't lay down, it's like, okay, gotta do something. So besides the healing technologies I use and all this kind of like advanced body therapies, I would go to the playground and hang upside down by my knees. And of course, having knee surgeries, it was extremely painful, but it immediately, within 5 minutes, no back pain for the first time as an adult. And so I was taking people to playgrounds, like my clients and whoever would come with me, and be like, let's go do our yoga on the playground. Well, most people were too embarrassed to go hang upside down on the monkey bars with me. A couple of my playful friends would. So then I started building my own collection of equipment that I call the Quantum Playground, and building out a way for us, like as adults, to play. And so the Quantum Playground was kind of the parent of this vision. And then the swings came along and just got popular. But honestly, getting this space and this tractioning in the body is essential for our well-being. Not only does it remedy all of the stress and tension we're experiencing in the overactive nervous system, but it is allowing us to release happy hormones. The stress hormones is what creates the degradation of the body, and the happy hormones is what regenerates the body. So the body does regenerate when it has the right building blocks, when it has enough of the energy freed up to repair and restore itself. So the AYRx, AYRx, is the Regenerative Therapeutix. And so something that started out as the aerial yoga play about 10 years ago transformed into having people understand that this is a healing practice, this is a therapy, and that it can be used not only for exercise. You will get fit, you will get strong, you will get flexible, but we can actually start to heal the body. And believe it or not, I know like all of this, well, I call it bioenergetics. It's like all of the biohacking, all of the focus on stem cell production. We can do this naturally. Our body naturally produces stem cells and knows how to heal itself when it's freed up from that husk or that surface charge that builds up that just blocks the energy flow. So that's why I wanted to talk about the energy lines, the pathways, the chakras, meridians, neuromuscular points, this beautiful blending of both Eastern and Western philosophies and approaches. Okay? So I'm going to take a little pause. Thank you for listening to my little spiel, but I think it is actually good to get some of that history. I don't always share why I do what I do or how did this all happen, but it actually has literally saved my life. I have zero pain in my body, and I'm like totally fine speaking that I'm 52. I'm like in my 50s, and I feel healthier and better than I have when I was in my 20s. So I do this every single day. I will let you know, this is my baby. This is my saving grace, and I love it. And so it's such a pleasure for me to share it with you guys, as well as go deeper into the understanding of what are we doing, how are we doing it, and why did I put together the different movements and sequences, and how it's interfacing with not only the muscles and bones, but really interfacing with the energy body and the living matrix that is the fascia, that is the soft tissue. Everything, like I said, all of our experiences, all of our memories have been stored in our tissues. And if you think about it, I don't know how many decades you've been on the planet, but that's a lot of stuff, right? So we regularly have to cleanse and clear. Like we take a shower, like we brush our teeth. We want to do the same thing with the body matrix and see it that way and enjoy the experience of wringing it out, of flushing it. I'm going to bring all of these core activation meditation techniques into the practice. They're really quantum healing techniques. I've been trying to figure out a way to describe this or brand this or whatever we want to say, so that people really get that we can interact and interface with our bodies in a new way and create a different relationship to it. So I'm going to pause so we can have a conversation. Feel free to ask me anything. I'm open to Q&A and discussion. About once an hour, we'll just take like a 5-minute break. You can just have some water, a bio break, a little nibble. I wouldn't eat too much, but definitely, fuel yourself in whatever way you need. And let's get out of the swing, nice and easy. So we're gonna go ahead and come on out. So we slide down to our knees. Just one more second. Keep it muted, okay? Just 1 second. So from our knees, we're going to take off the leg loops one at a time. There we go. Come on. I'm sorry about that. My team over here. You guys have to mute.